Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Valor Airsoft channel. Today I'm going to be discussing briefly some airsoft headgear options, specifically what I use, what I would suggest for specific types of players, and new things that are coming to the market that more people are using. So let's start briefly with what I use. It's pretty simple. I just go for a multicam hat. I play outdoors. It's pretty comfortable, doesn't cost much, and it serves a pretty wide variety of purposes, whether I'm doing indoor or outdoor. Next, I have this sort of balaclava that a lot of people are using as masks these days. Also really affordable. You can get them from Condor, I think. A bunch of different brands sell these. Run you like 10-15 bucks maybe. And I use this occasionally, especially when I'm going indoors. If I'm breaching, I don't want to get shot in the mouth. Generally I'll raise it up then. But if I'm just outside, outdoors, getting shot at from 150 feet away, I generally won't really use it all too much. I'll just leave it around my neck. Kind of helps with blocking out the sun as well. And if you want to protect your ears too, it'll give you, an extra layer there. And then for eye pro, I just use shot glasses. Since I'm over 18, I don't have to worry about doing full face protection. These are just they're reasonably cheap. Like I said, I don't get shot in the eye much because I play outdoors. So, but if you play indoors, I probably wouldn't recommend these unless you get some, more expensive shot glasses that aren't going to, crack on you. These have a small crack, a few gashes here and there, as you can see. So they do take damage pretty easily, but nothing that has compromised those glasses yet. In terms of some other options for headgear, I have this actual balaclava that I use sometimes. In the winter, I'll use it. If it gets a little colder, I'll wrap it around my neck. In the summer, sometimes I'll use it for blocking out the sun on my neck to prevent getting sunburns. I don't use this as much because it's kind of bulky. It restricts your head movement a little bit. That's why I tend not to use helmets and some of the other stuff on the table right now, just because they're a bit too bulky for me. All right, up next is kind of what most people end up using. This is just a lower face mesh mask. No ear pro. I don't get shot enough in the ears for it to be worth it to get that big uncomfortable ear pro one. But this is pretty nice. It doesn't connect to helmet. Just wraps right about the back of your head. So if I'm doing a lot of indoor stuff, I might end up using this. But that's really the only scenario I would probably ever use this guy in. And last, we have classic goggles. If you guys ever get a pair of these, I'd highly recommend removing the vents like I did. If your goggles have vents, it helps a lot with the airflow, so you don't have to worry about fogging up as much. But of course, that's one of the big problems with these. You're not always guaranteed for it not to fog up. And that's generally why I opt for the shot glasses, because those almost never fog up for me. So all in all, the main concern people have with using less gear than more is, of course, if you're playing indoors, there's definitely a higher likelihood that this is going to break, or you're going to get shot in the mouth, or somewhere else, the ear, that would not feel so good. And that's why people tend to use, goggles or dye masks or helmets indoors. And I probably would end up at least using the mesh mask indoors, potentially goggles if it doesn't get too fogged up, just because I wouldn't be extremely comfortable with just the shot glasses and the hat. But I would probably still end up running the hat because helmets, at least for me, are extremely bulky. I used to have a Emerson hat, or Emerson helmet, and that was okay for a few years, but it ended up just restricting my head movement so much. I felt like when I was, crawling on the ground or something, I couldn't see in front of me because it was so bulky. So that's why I've slowly been transitioning to a more relaxed headgear setup. So that's just my input on the subject. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I appreciate if you guys have any suggestions in the comments below for future videos for me to make. I just enjoy putting the info that I have out there. If you guys have any other suggestions for beginner headgear and want to share it, please feel free. I would love to hear more from you guys. With that being said, hope you all have a good one. Catch you in the next one.